Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to actually be my very first eyeshadow tutorial. Before we get started, be sure to hit that subscription button below if you haven't already, if you want to see how I created this beautiful fall time inspired look. Keep watching. Let's dive right in. And I am going to be doing today a fall inspired eyeshadow tutorial. Fall is my favorite time of year. I absolutely love it. I love the colors of the leaves changing. Just the entire palette of fall is so inspiring, especially for, eyeshadow. I mean, look around. The colors on the leaves and the colors that are changing on the trees and everything are just so inspiring. And I find that every color that could inspire me from that is found in the Jaclyn Hill palette. So we will be using this palette to create this look. And I have all the shade names here pulled up on my phone because if you own this palette, there are no shade names anywhere to be found on this palette. So I have them pulled up on my phone. It did come with an insert, but I don't know what the hell I did with it. So if you see me glancing down and looking, that's because I'm trying to look at the shade names because I don't know 30 some shade names by heart. First things first, I'm going to start off with a fluffy crease brush like this. I believe this is by Lang and Nickel or Moda. I don't know, Royal Lang, Nickel, something. I can't remember it. They're like one company. But this brush is the BMX 430 crease brush. So the first shade I'm going to go into, I'm going to start off with a transition shade. I have already primed my lids with some ColourPop concealer. So we're going to go in with the shade Silk Cream. So I'm just going to work that all over the lid and in the crease. Transition shades are obviously important because that is what really lays down the base for our shadow. So everything will blend in beautifully. Get that blended in very well. And I am relying on the viewfinder right now to see myself, so bear with me. All right, perfect. Next shade that I want to go into, so we're going to deepen up the crease a little bit more. The shade I want to go into next is Roxanne. So this shade right here. So I'm actually going to go in with the same brush. This is kind of the color that I want to just kind of fan everywhere, and I want to just have that look super diffused and ombre and flawless. So I'm going to gently tap into that shade. The beautiful thing about this palette is that a little goes a long way. You really do not need a lot. So I'm going to whip out a mirror for this so I can get a better look myself. Gently work that in to my crease, and I'm just going to very slightly drag that out. So you want to hold your brush further down on the end like this with a very light hand. Like I'm barely, look at the pigment on that. I am barely pressing on my lid. And then as I get down to here, I'm going to drag it out just slightly and kind of roll my brush. And what that does is it allows for that natural shape of your eye. Work that into the crease just like a window washer motion. Keep rolling it. And if you have hooded eyes, a good tip is to point your brush like this so that you're really getting into that crease and you're getting that color, not too much up on top and not too much on the bottom. My eyes are slightly hooded, so by using the brush like this and working it in that way and starting from the middle part, so where your eye is, and starting here and then working out, just works so much better. Perfect, so let's get the other eye with a very light hand. Again, the other eye. This is honestly one of my favorite colors in the entire palette. I am generally privy to warmer shades, but I absolutely love the burnt browns, siennas, the kind of really warm, hot shades. It's kind of funny because this summer everyone came out with the Naked Heat palette and the ColourPop Yes Please palette, and then obviously this palette, and all these palettes were considered, they were calling these like summer shades, but personally when I look at them I thought these are warm. Like fall was the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw all these shades, and so I was super excited for that because, again, like I said, fall is like my favorite time of year. So now that we have that shade everywhere, I'm going to go in even just a little bit of a deeper tone in the crease. For that, I'm going to go with my Eco Tools brush and use this thin blending brush. The next shade I want to go into is Jax, this shade right here. I'm gonna pick some up on this smaller tapered crease brush, and I'm gonna focus this directly more into the crease, so to deepen and darken that crease even more. Doing the same window washer motion and coming out a bit, but staying closer to here, like the closer to the edge part of my eye. Not fanning it out so much like I did when I was doing this other color here before, but like right there. Blending that in. These colors are just absolutely beautiful. I love it. Do the other eye now. Key to eyeshadow in any instance, no matter what shade you're using, no matter what tutorial you're watching, is to blend. Take your time. Less is more with eyeshadow. If you go with a heavy hand and you pick up a lot of product and you just start going at it, or if you're holding your brush too close to the edge like this down here and you're just working it in, you're gonna get harsh lines. Things aren't gonna blend. They're just gonna look all over the place and messy. All right, perfect. So now I'm gonna actually incorporate some browns to the mix here. So there is a shade in this that I'm absolutely in love with, and that is the shade Chip. It is just a beautiful, dark, cool tone brown, and that is that shade here. So I'm gonna stick with this tapered brush, and we're gonna do almost like a halo effect. So I'm gonna stick to the outer V of the eye, and then we're gonna work it towards the inner corner as well. And let's go in. Sticking to the very outer corner, we're just very ever so slightly deepening up that outer corner. You can work it gently into the crease. Just kind of work that in, but focusing more on the outer corners. And as you can see, when you take your time in blending, everything just looks so diffused and beautiful. So we're gonna bring this in probably about right to where your pupil starts. So that's kind of our viewpoint and our vantage point of where we wanna bring that darker brown shade. Working ever so slightly into the crease, staying to the outer edge of the eye, and working my way in. And you can use any tapered brush for this. I know that when doing eye makeup, it can get kind of overwhelming because you're like, oh my God, there's so many brushes, there's so many things to choose from. Where do I begin? Just try to go with your eye. Just by looking at a brush, you can kind of tell what brushes are gonna work best for certain parts of your eyes. So a tapered crease brush like this, just the way that it's shaped, you can tell that it kind of just fits perfect on the outer corners. You can also tell, obviously, that it will fit perfectly into your crease. So just by experimenting and looking at the natural shape of a brush can really help you in figuring out where in your eye it's gonna apply the product best and where it's, you know, where it goes. So I'm gonna deepen that up just a little bit more this side just to get a little bit more dramatic. Again, very ever so slightly, bring it to the outer edge, into the crease. Go back. I like to keep things very even. I'm like OCD when I'm doing my eye makeup, but I think most makeup lovers are. We just want that perfect look. All right, we're gonna take that same shade and we're gonna work that ever so slightly into the top inner corner of my eyelid. So for this, I'm actually gonna go in with an even skinnier tapered brush. This is by Aveda. I don't know the name of this brush. There literally is no markings on it. So I'm gonna dab into that same shade Chip. I'm gonna really focus on getting this color really just on the end of the brush here. As you can see, we just wanna coat the end of the brush. I'm gonna work that on the inner corners. And again, I'm gonna bring that right to about where my eye, my pupil begins. And eventually it will connect to where you've worked that crease. So when you're out here, and we were dragging that color just so slightly into the crease, that's when you start to see that halo effect happen. Perfect. And back into Chip, and then I will do the other eye. I'm gonna be very careful here because it's very easy to accidentally get this like way in here. You can get it down on the lower lash line. Not a big deal if you do, but just make sure you don't have a lot of excess product. And that's the great thing about this palette is that there is not a lot of fallout at all with these matte shades. In fact, with the matte shades period, I don't think I've ever seen any fallout at all, which is amazing considering how soft and buttery they are. So let's work back in. So we're gonna go back in and do the other eye. I don't think I picked up enough product that time, so we're gonna go in again. Sounds really weird, but I swear sometimes each of my eyes reacts differently to powder, like eyeshadow. It's like I'm using the same brush, the same eyeshadow, the same everything, and somehow one eye takes shadow different. I don't know, it's really weird. And again, as you're going, if you see that you want to keep deepening out another part of your eye, or if you notice something that's not super even, now's the time to fix it. Perfect. Now, for the halo effect, so right here in the middle of the eye, I'm actually going to use my finger for this. And there is this absolutely beautiful bronzy shade in here that I am absolutely in love with. Meeks. I believe that's it. Yep, the color Meeks. So we're going to go in with this shade right here. And that's what I'm going to pop right on the center of my eye. So I'm going to go in with my finger. Metallic and shimmery shades and anything with glitter, I love using my finger to apply them because you're going to get such rich pigment out of the deal. So we're going to take this and we're just going to dab it right in the center there. Haloed eye looks are absolutely my favorite. I just love the effect they give. Now I'm going to do the other eye. Beautiful. Love this look already. And so now that we have our shades done on top, let's focus on the lower lash line. So first things first, I'm going to go back in to the shade, well actually first, let's use the shade Roxanne, I believe. That's this shade here, and we're going to drag that along the lower lash line. So we're going to start with that shade first, and then we'll deepen it up. So let's go in here, and I'm just going to use that Aveda crease brush again. I'm obsessed with this brush. It just works so well for everything. It has so many great uses. So let's go in. Now don't be afraid when you're doing your lower lash line, especially if you want to go for even more of a smoky look. Some people really want to stay close to right where their lashes are, but it's okay to blend out a little bit. The more airbrushed it looks, the more beautiful, the more enhanced this look is going to be. So don't be afraid if you get, a little bit more low, down lower on the lash line. That's what makes it so beautiful, is that blown out, diffused, soft look. And that's what you want to go for. So for this, we're probably going to go just probably to the center of my eye here. So out and then just to the center, and just drag that along the lower lash line. Again, I'm not too worried about actually getting it too far down, because the finished product is going to be absolutely stunning. And it just adds like that, oh, look at how bright that is and just how vibrant it is. So beautiful. I love these colors. All right, and the same on this side. So starting, back and then just to the center of the eye. So using that same brush, I'm going to go back into the shade Chip, and I'm just going to pick up just slightly enough of that color, just a little bit. I don't want to go too heavy on it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drag that along my lower lash line until the center of the eye. And yes, I make that face, and excuse my forehead wrinkles. I'm not 21 anymore, so your girl's got some wrinkles. And then let's highlight the inner corners and on the brow bone as well. To do that, I'm going to go back in with my Eco Tools brushes. I'm going to use this flatter side. This is a smudge brush. To highlight on the brow bone and in the inner corners, I'm actually going to go in with the shade Beam, and that is this shade here. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the product, and then we're going to go ahead and put that on the inner corners and on the brow bone as well to highlight. And I think I'm not going to do any eyeliner with this look. I think that it's just intense and beautiful enough on its own that I don't really want to put any liner on here and take away from that. You can add a wing or just a straight line along the lash line, the top lash line, if you want to. I'm going to finish up my makeup, so I'm going to curl my lashes, put on some mascara. I'm going to pop some brown eyeliner on the waterline, and I will be right back. Guys, so here is the finished and completed look. Popped on some vampy deep red lipstick, perfectly fitting for fall if you ask me. I put a little bit of brown liner on the waterline, mascara, highlight. I am absolutely obsessed with this look. Give me a thumbs up if you like this tutorial. Let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed this look as well. What are your favorite shades from the Jaclyn Hill palette? What shades have you been most excited about? If you have not already, of course, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you are having a great day. Bye!